I keep having subscribers asking me about AI copywriting. Roy, can you do an episode? Can you do a video on AI copywriting? Can you tell me how to use ChatGPT so I can write better copy and all of that? And so I figured I would do today's episode about AI copywriting and what I really think about it and the role it can play in your copywriting, in your marketing today. I'll start this out by saying that this is coming from the same guy that never told you to buy Bitcoin, never got on the crypto craze, right? For both better and worse, because there have been people who've made a ton of money off of crypto, but the vast majority of people, the way that any market like that works is people tend to pile in at the end and they tend to lose a lot of money when it crashes. And I definitely was very hesitant about crypto. I've been through my own cycles like that in the past. And I believe that a lot of the same hype around crypto and Bitcoin and all of that drove it to like just these insane levels of adoption based on no real fundamentals, or based on a level of fundamentals that didn't support it. That same level of hype and excitement is going into AI and specifically AI copywriting right now. It's not that it's a bad thing, right? But that hype leads people to believe things about it that just aren't true. So today's episode, by the way, might be a little bit longer, but I had a lot of ground to cover. And so let's start with the truth. The truth about AI copywriting is it's really the new magic pill copywriting secret easy button, right? It's like it's being sold to you as something that's going to suddenly make everything easier, suddenly make everything better. Some people are afraid of it. It's suddenly going to destroy my job. I think all of this is completely overblown. The thing is, especially when we look at the proliferation of courses in late 2022, early 2023 about AI copywriting, is that so many of them are hinging on this easy button promise not because it's an actual easy button for you as a copywriter, as we'll talk about here in a minute, but because the easy button promise makes it super easy to sell. We want to buy, we want to believe, and so we buy. Right? We want to believe that suddenly we're going to be able to type a few words into this little chatbot and it's going to spit out some piece of copy that we're going to be able to charge $10,000, $20,000 for. And what I'll say is that 90% plus of the copywriters who actively learn AI copywriting today won't be getting better results in 6 months because of it. So if you are trying to learn AI copywriting because you're trying to get better results from your career, whether that's more copy, better copy, whatever, odds are you're going to be in the group that does not get better results. And I'd say probably, of that relies on people actively learning it. There's probably a big segment that's not actually going to go through the process of actively learning AI copywriting. And like the same thing is going on in industry after industry. There are some things that AI is doing really well as a tool. And there are some major challenges that are being created in different industries because of AI. And I think writing is ultimately one of those, right? It's one of those industries. But the impact of AI in the immediate future is completely overblown. There's the saying that's been attributed to many different people that humans dramatically overestimate what they can accomplish in a year and dramatically underestimate what they can accomplish in a decade. And I think the same thing is going to largely be true of AI. People are dramatically overestimating how good and how effective this is in most industries, and especially writing today. Probably dramatically underestimating the level of change that's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years because of AI. And so right now, the use of AI has to come with a huge warning. In fact, I've identified 3 plus at least one major flaws in current AI output, and you need to know about these. So I caught this story from the BBC about a guy named Edward Tian from Toronto. He's a graduate student, and he decided to develop this GPT-0 app over winter break. Basically, there's this huge fear that suddenly came out that all of these students are writing their term papers in ChatGPT, so they're not actually learning or digesting the information. They're just using computers to write the term papers for them. And over the course of winter break, this one person, this grad student, developed an app that was able to correctly catch AI-generated text with less than 2% false positive rate. I don't know exactly what the negative rate was. I did notice that wasn't there, right? Or false negative rate. But in terms of it identifying something as AI text, he was able to 98 out of 100 times, more than 98 out of 100 times, catch something as AI text, AI generated text. And only 2 out of those 100 were humans writing something that got flagged as AI. So that is a pretty compelling factoid saying that this AI writing is not as, I don't know, it's not as human as we might immediately presume it to be. So the 2 factors, he actually only used 2 factors to recognize AI writing. And one was perplexity, a term he called perplexity, which is basically the amount of original thought that's appearing in the writing. And a lot of this is defined by like what left turns are used, what metaphors, what similes are used, what unique ideas are brought in as opposed to just a straightforward like regurgitation of the absolute basic like explanation of something, right? Humans use original thought. Humans take left turns in their writing. Humans use metaphors and similes, like, and good, compelling writing is full of this stuff, right? But AI does not use it. AI is pretty straightforward. And then burstiness. Burstiness was the other factor. And this is basically the variability and rhythm of copy or of writing. And so humans will use one-word sentences, right? I'll say, stop, and then new paragraph, right? And good copywriters use this even more so. Whereas with AI, it basically generates average length sentences, one average length sentence after another. And it's completely, the writing basically feels completely average because that's what AI is designed to do. It takes all of its inputs on a particular topic and outputs whatever it perceives as like the average, right? And that leads to a type of writing that is really not, it doesn't have the feel of human writing. It doesn't have the rhythm. It doesn't have the long sentences, the sentences that seem to go on too long, followed by short staccato sentences that just say the words. And so those 2 factors immediately can be used to identify at least the current state, the current best quality of AI writing that's coming out of ChatGPT and AI tools. Now, there's one more factor that could easily get you in trouble as a copywriter. Of course, it could get you in trouble on term papers and anything else, but that's accuracy. AI, I am very easily able to make AI generate things that read as being incredibly confident, but are just wrong. Especially when I try to get it to write ads about things. Like I tried to get AI to write an ad about my book, The Copywriter's Guide to Getting Paid. And it took its best guess about what the content was. And then it read as incredibly confident about the contents of the book. But it was wrong. It was wrong for what it was saying about what you would get from buying and reading the book. And especially when it comes to things like generating ads, that's been my biggest challenge with AI so far, is that as soon as you're talking about any specific details about something, AI comes across as a complete rookie copywriter who procrastinated until the last minute. They never did any of the research that they needed to do. And then they just cranked out something based on their best assumptions about what it would be. And accuracy is incredibly important when it comes to compliance, especially in certain more regulated industries. But you need to be paying attention to this as a marketer, as a copywriter. And honestly, like as marketers, as copywriters, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as people who make offers in the marketplace, we want to be accurate and truthful. We want to give people what we are promising. And if you rely on AI to write things, well, it's not like it's not going to do that. It's not going to be accurate and truthful. You have to make it accurate and truthful. The plus one major flaw in the current AI output is not currently being reflected yet, I don't think, but Google has a tendency to slap, that's the term that's used for it in the marketplace, slap down websites that have manipulated their websites in order to gain ranking in Google results pages. And there have been a lot of things that have been done where people have created essentially low quality human experiences in order to get higher rankings in Google. And my understanding, the murmurs inside the SEO community, is that Google does not perceive AI generated output as generally high quality. And in fact, they may be working with some of the people who are creating the algorithms that output this AI writing to put hidden signatures inside the writing so that it's instantly recognizable as AI and not easy for humans to catch. And what's going to happen in situations like that is that Google is going to release some kind of algorithm update. And they're basically going to say, we do not perceive AI generated writing as high enough quality to feature it in our search results pages, and entire websites are going to get punished because they have a segment of the website that was created to just publish AI content to get Google traffic. It may or may not come true, but it is potential hot water that you are wading right into if you are trying to use AI writing in order to maximize your search traffic. So those are major flaws in current AI output. One thing that I mentioned is that AI is designed to basically output average writing on a particular topic. So it's designed to be familiar, right? It's designed to be familiar so that when I read it, okay, that reads like something familiar around this topic. And in order to do that, it basically takes the ideas in relevant input using natural language processing, and it averages those ideas and puts them in average writing. And I don't know how much you've looked at the output of AI algorithms, the writing, but it basically makes everything average, plain vanilla. And if you want to write good copy, if you want to capture the attention of your audience, if you want to connect with them on an emotional level that's required to sell them, to get them to take action, to buy into whatever it is that you want them to buy into, being average and plain vanilla is about the last thing that you want to do. Yeah, there are some things like informative articles and stuff where the type of output that comes from AI can be kind of average, right? Giving like 101 level introductions to things. But people are naturally compelled by and drawn to personality, to people who are not average, to people who are exceptional, to people who are interesting because they are different. And any kind of writing that comes out of AI, if left unedited, is largely going to feel vanilla. It's going to feel kind of boring. And it's a challenge that you're going to deal with, that, you can put out 1 million AI generated emails or landing pages or articles or whatever, but you're never going to have people resonate with it in the way that any kind of really good copy gets people to resonate with it. So, that's, I guess, yet another warning around AI. Now, will AI always have these problems? Maybe. I don't know. It will likely get a lot better at imitating humans. And there are things that you can do to get it to imitate human writing in different ways. I, for example, just asked it to rewrite something with a readability grade level of grade 5. And it immediately changed the writing and made it more readable, right? It didn't make that particular passage more accurate, but you can definitely tell AI to write in certain styles, to write with certain emotions, to write in different ways, and it's going to do its best in order to take whatever input you give it and give you output that fulfills on that. It won't always be right, but again, it will likely get better. Now, creativity at this point is still uniquely human. So, for example, I was talking to Perry Marshall the other day, reviewing a piece of copy that he'd written, and in the middle of the promo. Now, granted, it's full of his own stories, so AI is not going to come up with his own stories, but all of the stories were pretty much based on the general line of thought in this particular promo that he was working on, and then in the middle of it, there was just this left turn of this metaphor that was just. I'm not even going to talk about the specific metaphor, but it was just like, geez, like it felt like a left turn in the writing. And that came from creativity. Now, in the past, I've said that Perry Marshall may be one of the top 10 copywriters out there, although he's not often thought of as that because he doesn't sell himself as a copywriter. He just writes his own copy. But this creativity that is manifest in Perry's copy and in so many other good copywriters' copy is still this uniquely human trait. Like, we bring together ideas, and so much great marketing that's based on big ideas is the connection of ideas in creative ways. And that's all still uniquely human. And so for the foreseeable future, your humanity, your creativity there is your advantage in the final writing that you put out. And the more that your final writing has this humanity to it, that's not these like just vanilla articles about a how-to topic, the better it's going to be for you. So the question is, should you avoid AI in your copywriting? No, I absolutely don't think that you should. I am doing a lot of experiments with it right now around rapid idea generation. And so, for example, I'm doing training on AI copywriting as I'm recording this. Like it's this coming Thursday, January 19th, for my BTMSinsiders members. And I actually used AI, and I went through like 3 different iterations in the chat bot to come up with an idea for how to structure the title. Now, it actually gave me 30 different titles and subtitles, and I ended up not using a single one of them. But this is similar to the experience of writing 100 headlines and then taking what you've just written and then editing that down to the final headline that you're going to use. And so you can use it for all kinds of different rapid idea generation. You can use it to plant seeds for research. So if you have some research that you're trying to do, like you can start the research in the AI chatbot. Now, you're never going to get cited sources or anything like that from the AI. So you're going to have to take any kind of claims or assertions that it makes, and you're going to have to go do your own research to back up those claims and assertions, and to go deeper. But it's a great place to plant the seeds for the research. You can use it as an input to your human thought. Yeah, like I said, like that. I have a note here to talk about that copy review story, which I've already talked about with Perry Marshall. Like, ultimately, your writing should reflect your human thought. And so you need to be careful that the writing that you come up with, no matter how much AI you use, still reflects your unique human thinking, right? But for example, I just did a whole analysis of like real estate business opportunity, a particular business opportunity in real estate. And I use the chat functionality to actually get in there and basically just give me a bunch of ideas that I could then pull into the copy And it was around things like common objections or challenges that people have when getting started in real estate and stuff. And it's the type of thing that I could have spent hours researching the internet and probably not come up with quite as clear of a list. And it just created a clear list just that quick. And that list is good enough to start my copy from, or to pull into my copy. If you are writing things that are like a basic article on something, you could definitely use AI writing output as a rough draft, acknowledging all the challenges there are to it currently, but as a rough draft that you go in and you edit. It can be a pretty effective tool, and certainly nothing wrong with that. I also know, I don't have this in my notes here. For example, I've seen some examples of people that have put shorter chunks of copy on like landing pages deeper in a funnel that are just around, for example, answering a how-to question. And they'll say, use the ADA formula to address this how-to question in this little chunk. And then there's often some little edits, but it's pretty much ready to go. They're just looking for short chunks of copy to go like under a video, right? And this kind of stuff, again, use it as a rough draft, but assume that you're going to have to edit it. The big idea that I have here is that AI really is most effective right now, and probably for the foreseeable future will be most effective as like a junior copywriter, someone who can give you some decent output that you might be able to use, but that output is something that you should expect to edit. That output is something that you should expect to have to finesse and hone. That output is something that maybe can fill in some pieces for your more complex writing, but is not necessarily the same quality as it actually needs to be delivered to a client, or put in the marketplace. And so if you, for example, like a task that I could have assigned to a junior copywriter on a project would be go research the problem, agitation and validation and solution around getting started in real estate and specific to this opportunity, this product that I'm working on a promo for. And so what are the common problems that people have in getting started in the real estate business? What's the common emotional agitations that people feel when they're struggling to get started in real estate, and why? What are some common challenges that people run into when they're actually starting their real estate business, and why do they actually stop progress, right? That's invalidation. And then solution, why is this particular opportunity, and I'm not speaking the language here, why is this particular opportunity an ideal solution to the challenges that were previously laid out? And I found pretty good quality output there in terms of just somebody going out and finding kind of a lot of emotional hot buttons and challenges and roadblocks that people run into, and then being able to take that and move forward on it. And so I say more on this soon. That's basically what the training that I'm going to be doing for my BTMS Insiders members is about how to use AI as a copywriting assistant, as a junior copywriter, and not how to just like have it be your easy button cranking out video sales letters or whatever for you. So my number one lesson for you for all of AI copywriting right now, whether you sign up for BTMS Insiders, you can join me for the monthly Insiders call, or whether you just take this knowledge and run with it, you still need to learn the skill of copywriting. Copywriting, especially direct response copywriting, it's based on the foundational set of principles that consistently lead to effective copywriting across markets, across industries, across media choices, all of that. Those principles inform a set of strategies that people typically use in copywriting. And those strategies are applied through techniques and tactics, which are more specific to the market, to the industry, to the media choice, et cetera. all of this though still comprises like the total architecture of the skill of copywriting. And if you're going to use AI, you can't just rely on it to do all the thinking for you. You can't rely on it to do all the work for you. You still are, the quality of the output that you get from it is going to be based on the quality of the input, and the quality of the input is going to come from your skill and understanding as a copywriter. And so all of this and your ability to deal with the output and manage the output in the way that's going to lead to the best final product is going to be based on this, on understanding the skill of copywriting. And I just want to remind you, there's no freaking shortcut. There's not a freaking shortcut. So stop looking for one. It wastes your time, it wastes your resources. When you throw a bunch of money at people who are offering this like easy button, AI copywriting is going to solve all your ills, what you're doing is you're delaying your success. You're putting off your success. You're investing you're giving your money away to them because they tap into that easy button desire that we all have. So you need to do the work. You need to do the work of learning the skill of copywriting, and then use this as a tool. Use this as a tool that can help you out. And when you do that, well, it's going to make you more successful. With this tool, it's also going to make you more successful in general. So my call to action for you, number one, think about this. How can you use this? How does this new perspective of AI being your junior copywriter change how you might approach the use of the tool, whether you haven't been using it a lot yet? And by the way, ChatGPT is free for now. There's definitely going to be paid tiers coming up. I don't know how much it's going to continue to be available for free, probably less and less. There will continue to be more tools like it that come out that have different variable levels of quality and cost and all of that. But in general, the same principle is going to apply for the foreseeable future. You cannot expect AI to be your copywriter. You can only expect it to be your AI or your copywriting assistant, your junior copywriter. And so think about how you can use this going forward. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content like this delivered to you. I will invariably, I'm sure, you do more content on AI copywriting in the future, starting with the training that I'm doing for my BTMS Insiders members. And if you want to sign up, I will include a link to the BTMS Insiders All Access Pass. BTMS Insiders is a streaming library of copywriting and marketing courses where you pay one low monthly fee, like Netflix or whatever. And you get unlimited streaming access to everything, including the live calls that I do, where, for example, I will be doing a live call on Thursday, January 19th about AI copywriting. And the only way to attend that is by being a BTMS Insiders member. So I'm Roy Furr. This is Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I hope you've gotten a ton of value here. Maybe I've given you a new perspective on what AI maybe can and cannot do for you right now in terms of being a copywriting tool. I hope you've gotten a ton of value. Definitely let me know if you have any major takeaways from this episode, and I will catch you again in tomorrow's episode. See you soon. Bye. Thank you once again for tuning in to this daily episode of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. Remember, check out the links with this episode for even more value. Now make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and engage in every way you can to keep this show going and growing and delivering daily value to you. I'll catch you soon for your next big breakthrough.